I know that sometimes reading is taxing. The main reason why many of us prefer not to read is because oftentimes we come across books that are just not that great. They're boring, especially when we talk about non-fiction books in the self-help space. I'm exactly like you guys. I don't like reading boring books. Period. So I have recently discovered 5 true diamonds in the rough. So let's begin with the first book, Hold Me Tight by Sue Johnson. Hold me tight. Dr. Sue Johnson is a clinical psychologist and research professor, and her book focuses on life's greatest challenge, building and sustaining a good quality romantic relationship. This book taught me one amazing thing. It is the author's successful couple therapy method called EFT, emotionally focused couple therapy. It is basically based on the idea that key emotional moments, both negative and positive, can define your relationship and can shape your relationship. And we can learn to use those moments to create a deeper bond. Because let's be honest, we're all terrible communicators, and communication is a skill, and we're never taught good quality communication in schools. And as Sigmund Freud said, we're never as vulnerable as when we love. So this vulnerability and the fact that we can communicate sometimes create tension in relationships. And so this book can teach you how to argue less about the unimportant stuff, and also how to not blame your partner if you're arguing, because it's pretty common for couples to get into disputes over inconsequential things. And plus, it's a natural human urge to find fault in others. I also like that this book taught me that in a romantic relationship, I can heal my own traumas and my own wounds, obviously with the right person. And healing can be facilitated through emotional bonding. And this book teaches you exactly how to do this emotional bonding correctly. The next book is Fluent Forever by Gabriel Wyner. I have liked this book so much that I decided to actually purchase a physical copy, even though I never buy books, just because it's not something that I like to do. I like reading electronic books, but here I decided to actually buy this book, and I highlighted a lot of things here. For example, as you can see, here's one highlighted quote. So this book is a treasure trove for those who are learning foreign languages. It doesn't matter which foreign language you're learning, you will definitely find this book extremely useful. Gabriel Wyner is a polyglot and opera singer, and he used his knowledge in music and language learning to create this book. The key message from this book is, if you want to become fluent in any language fast, you need to use these 4 following techniques. The first one, you need to listen carefully for rhythm and sounds. So you have to spend enough time at the very beginning understanding all the sounds of this language. For example, in Spanish, in different countries, people speak with different accents. In Spain, people have one accent. In Mexico, people have a different accent. So it's important to choose one accent at the very beginning and stick to it. Second, use spaced repetition systems. Spaced repetition systems, or SRS, are amazing if you want to learn new vocabulary in foreign languages. Third, you should connect words to images. When you're trying to memorize new vocabulary, try to connect new words to some images. Maybe you find them on Google Images, or maybe you use your own images from your life, because this way you're making your neurons fire together and create beautiful bonds and help your brain memorize new information faster. And 4, we should be learning languages the way kids do, because oftentimes as adults we start with something super complicated and then we give up because it's too hard for us. And kids, obviously, they start from the easiest thing. They start with comprehensible input. With input they can understand. When it comes to learning grammar, for example, we should all start from something we can easily understand. We can easily replicate it. We can easily create our own sentences, and then only then move on to the next grammar rule. And luckily, there's one place that can help you here a lot. This place is Lingoda. Lingoda is an online language school where you can study English, business English, German, French, and Spanish. They can help you with listening, because on Lingoda you can take private classes or small group classes with native speakers. When it comes to spaced repetition, they offer flashcards and vocabulary quizzes, so you can memorize new vocabulary faster. And also to help you create those beautiful connections between words and images, for every single class they create useful PDF materials with images and examples. I personally take Spanish classes on Lingoda, and a few weeks ago I took a class about tattoos. And I have quite a few tattoos, if you you didn't know, like here is one right here. I also have a tattoo right here. I also have a tattoo on my fingers, and it was really fun for me to talk about all of my tattoos with the teacher and also with all the other students. And plus, on Lingoda, you can take classes anytime, anywhere. So for example, right now I'm sitting filming this video, and then I can just open Lingoda and book a class for today or tomorrow, anytime that works better for me. So if you want to give Lingoda a try, all you need to do is click the link in the description and use my discount code Veronika25. This code will give you a 25% discount of your first 2 months of your subscription on Lingoda. Let's right now move on to book number 3, The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. To be honest, when I was preparing for this video, I was thinking about this book for a very long time because I wanted to give you a book that is great if you're struggling with finding your purpose in life, or you need help on how to achieve your dreams. And this book is probably one of the best books we have out there. It's not gonna give you like steps or rules or tables or anything. It's a story. Paulo Coelho is a Brazilian novelist, and this book was originally published in 1988. So this idea of chasing your dreams and trying to find your purpose in life is not new at all. And why do we need to read all of those self-help books on this topic if we have this amazing classic? So it's a book about a boy named Santiago who embarks on a journey seeking treasure in the Egyptian pyramids after having a recurring dream about it. And on the way, he meets mentors and falls in love, and most importantly, he finds the true importance of who he is and how to improve himself and focus on what truly matters in life. I love that this book talks about fate, destiny, and love, and our place in the universe. When you want something, all the universe conspires to help you achieve it. The main message of this book does sound like something so many people talk about online right now, but I love reading classics and learning from stories because oftentimes we remember them better than just dry text with tips. Book number 4 is The Nightingale by Kristin. The Nightingale is a historical novel, and to be completely honest, sometimes when I was reading this book, it was very hard. I had to stop or I wanted to cry because this book talks about war, and especially this book talks about all the struggles that women and children have to endure during war. If I have learned anything in this long life of mine, it is this: in love, we find out who we want to be. In war, we find out who we are. Kristin is a New York Times bestselling author of many books. And to be completely honest, she's probably one of my favorite authors of all time. I love her writing style. I love how she creates characters, and I love the way she writes the plot. We all know that history is rich in stories about soldiers' experiences in war, but few speak of the women and children who have to survive all the hardships and threats under the enemy occupation. This book tells the story of Wyner and Isabelle, two sisters living in France during the World War II. I'm a mother, and mothers don't have the luxury of falling apart in front of their children, even when they're afraid, even when their children are adults. I have read this book twice now because sometimes it helps me when I'm going through a very difficult time. There's one quote that I even wrote down in my journal, and sometimes I just open my journal, I read this quote, and I feel better. If you're going through hell, keep going. I feel like this book has made me a more resilient person, a more persistent person. So I highly recommend this book to everyone who wants help if you're going through difficult times. And finally, the book that I am reading right now is Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I love this book because it talks about sports. It's another fiction book. You read it and you feel like it's not fiction because it's historical fiction. And you feel like, oh, this person actually existed in the past, and they were a famous tennis player. So the story is told from the perspective of the main character, Carrie Soto, who is a professional tennis player, and one day she decides to come back from retirement and prove again to the whole world that she's the greatest of all time, that she's still the greatest of all time. This book is about sports. It's about greatness. It's about losing and winning. And also it's about this beautiful relationship between Carrie and her dad, and probably honestly, this is my favorite part about the book. Just their interactions, their dialogues, the way her dad coached her because he was her coach. The character of Carrie Soto also reminded me of Evelyn Hugo. If you guys have read this book, The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, you know what I'm talking about here, because Evelyn Hugo is a very strong woman and she was always willing to sacrifice many things or to even hurt the people she loved in order to achieve what she wanted. Luckily, I didn't need to be pretty. My body was built to wage war. So if you need motivation to start exercising, or you're just interested in what's it like being a professional athlete, you should definitely give this book a try. So I think it's gonna be it for this video. These are the 5 books that I have read that have changed my life in a lot of different ways. And these are the books that I will be rereading in the future. For example, The Nightingale, I have already read this book twice. Don't forget to give Lingoda a try by using the link in the description. You will get 25% off, so make sure to do it right now. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video.